Thank you everyone for being here to attend this webinar on the First Performance National Day of Celebration. My name is Giovanna Cruz and I am an Education Services Manager at MakeMusic. I've worked here since 2014. In that capacity, I design, build, deliver, and evaluate online and in-person training, as well as deliver several clinics at conventions, both at the state and the national level. And prior to that, I was an orchestra director in Austin, Texas. But this is not about me today. It's about our wonderful guest, Marcia Neel. I already said what we do in the music education team here at MakeMusic. Today, if you have questions during our session, you're going to see that at the bottom of your screen, you should see a little icon for chat. It's encased there in a red square. Click on that to send us your questions. And then Marcia and I are both looking at the same document, and I will bring the questions that you have up to her and she will answer them. So without further ado, here is our wonderful guest today, Marcia Neel. She is president of Music Education Consultants, and she also serves in the Music Achievement Council, which is a 501c6 nonprofit organization sponsored by both NASMD and NAM. Marcia provides sessions at state MEA conferences, district and services, and a variety of workshops to provide practical success strategies to help teachers with the many and varied elements of the successful instrumental music program. Marcia also serves as the Senior Director of Education for the Band and Orchestra Division of Yamaha Corporation of America. And before that, she was the Secondary Fine Arts Supervisor for the Clark County School District in Las Vegas, one of the largest school districts in the country. During her time there, she led the music education program with a total class count of over 55,000 students in 56 middle and 38 high school music programs, and over 100,000 in secondary fine arts and performing arts overall. So quite an accomplishment there. Her greatest pride was in knowing that all the students in each of the district's secondary schools were provided with an equal opportunity to study music. So we have a phenomenal music education advocate right here, right now, who's going to talk to us about this wonderful program. So take it away.
Thank you, Giovanna. I really appreciate it. And welcome, everyone. I'm so glad that you're here. We have so many wonderful things to share with you today. But particularly, we are excited about the First Performance National Day of Celebration. So just give me a second to bring up my presentation so that you can see what we're talking about. And let me bring it up here. 1 second. And get me into show mode. And we'll be all set. There we go. Well, first of all, you have to think about the fact that we all know that kids who start with their instrumental experience, and even choir or guitar or mariachi or whatever it is, they have a very unique opportunity every year to pick up an instrument or to perform for the very first time in an organized ensemble. So typically music educators think about, well, when are the kids ready to do a concert? And we think that they're never really particularly ready in that sense, in that everything is perfect. We all know that. So following the concept that is followed primarily with soccer or other kinds of fall sports for young kids, we decided that at the Music Achievement Council, wouldn't it be great if we had something very similar? We know that young kids who learn to play soccer don't wait until they're really good at playing soccer before they put them out on the field. Right at the very beginning, they go out there, they do the job, they fall down, the ball goes everywhere. But that's okay. Mom and dad are there. They know that this is how it starts. They'll get better as they go along. And that is the concept of First Performance National Day of Celebration. So we're starting that this fall. So you are right at the right time to make all of this happen at your school. And even if you're not going to do it on the very day that we're going to do it nationwide, that's fine. You can celebrate it on that day. But the concept of this, as you can see on the slide, is that we provide students with immediate success. So right off the bat, within the 6th or 7th week of school, our beginning students have an opportunity to perform a concert, maybe 25 minutes at the most, for their parents, for their friends, and feel that success, the applause, the support, getting dressed up, practicing, all those things. As you can see in the second bullet point, parents hear their kids play for the first time. So you can imagine, what have mom and dad been listening to at home? Well, if they're just hearing their kids practice for the very first time on their instrument all by themselves when they kick it off, you know what they're hearing. But when they hear it as an ensemble with all the other beginners and actually see it up close and personal, then it's a whole different type of experience for the parents. They hear where the kids are going. They can actually see how the tracking of learning has come along. So this is a great way to get that kicked off. And the kids have a great time because for the first time, they get to do this with their friends. And as I said, see the support that everybody has for them kicking it down the road and getting even better. So the First Performance National Day of Celebration actually has a script, which is a kind of a neat thing. I'll talk to you about the website in just a minute where you can download all of this, but you'll see across the bottom of the slide and most of the slides that if you go to namfoundation.org/educator resources, First Performance, you'll find that. And one of the things we wanted to provide is the opportunity for the director to have the principal give a little talk, and all he has to do is follow a script, and it goes from step A to B and C and D. And you will see very quickly how this runs through the program in a matter of 20 or 25 minutes. And during this course of this, the concept is, let's support the kids as they're beginning their entire music career. We want to think of this as a long-term view of music education. Remember, mom and dad, and even the kids themselves, are only seeing what they're doing today and sometimes this week and sometimes, at the end of the month. But we want them to start to see all the way through. This is a long-term program, the music education program in the school district, and something that they should stick with long-term and even lifelong playing. So on the third Thursday of November, we have designated that annually as being our day where we're going to celebrate this achievement of the first performance, where students will actually be recognized and graduate from a beginning player into a member of the band or a member of the choir or the orchestra. It's really important that they understand now they're part of a big group. They're just not an individual player anymore. And then they have that commitment to the group, and that makes a huge difference. Again, it's a whole turnkey scripted program that you can just download right from the internet. It doesn't cost anything. Nobody's here making any money on this. This is not what this is about. This is about retaining your beginners, which we feel if students right at the beginning are excited about playing, more excited if they start 6th, 7th week of school than waiting down the road even longer. Again, across the bottom of the screen, you have where you can go to download the reference material. And then underneath that, we're going to put this PowerPoint up. You can see musicedconsultants.net/FPCelebration. So if you want to get back to the PowerPoint, you can certainly get back to that. First goal, to reduce beginner dropout rate. We cannot tell you how this has worked. We have tried this in our school district here in the Clark County School District, and we have found that when we do this early on, that the students become more committed to the group. The parents become more committed to seeing their kids becoming involved in a group. It's just like sports. They understand then what the next steps are. They see firsthand how excited their children are. They're practicing more at home because they know they have a concert in front of them. So it's really been a terrific opportunity for kids to stay with the program because they see what a group effort it is. And really graduating from an individual player to the member of the group, a member of the band, is the focus of all of this. So number 2, the second goal, to provide short-range incentive goals. So if you're the director and you say to the kids, welcome to the band program, and the very first day the kids are putting together instruments, and you tell them right off the bat, in 5 or 6 or 7 weeks, we're going to do a performance for your parents and their friends, their eyes just get amazingly big because they can't even believe they're going to go from not playing an instrument to doing a performance. And so right away, they're all excited to learn the notes, and there are only 5 notes that they have to learn to get through the first performance. And it's very simple to do this. But the most important thing is they'll start to develop a regimen of practicing. So you can put together a regimen to give to parents. What do you want the parents to provide for them? A place when they go home where they can practice, a nice seat where they can sit up nice and tall, nice lighting, perhaps a music stand, all these kinds of things so that the students can actually go home, practice, knowing that within a few short weeks, they're going to be putting on a presentation. We all know that when students have a goal, an immediate goal right in front of them, they do so much better. Their achievement level really rockets. So that's our second goal. Now, the third goal, of course, is communicating with parents. And what I love about this is that it gives us a real positive communication with the parents. Instead of waiting till Johnny does something wrong and we have to call home or we have to talk to somebody about it. I mean, everything is so positive. It's a great opportunity. During the program itself, we will have the principal talking to the parents about how important it is to be in instrumental music. But in addition to that, we ask, and this is something you can just do on your own, but we ask teachers to really make this your own thing. So during the concert, perhaps you can tell parents it's okay at this point to stand up and take a picture of your kids in their first concert. And if you want, you can come up at the end, come onto the stage, take a picture with your band director, take a picture with your student sitting at the music stand with his friend right next to him. And we try to make this really a personal contact kind of experience. You want to be sure to shake hands with every parent and tell every parent how great their kids are doing to inspire them to continue to do a good job. So this is a great way to kick off positive communication with the parents. And the other thing about this is we all know that the more we communicate with parents, the better it is for the students. And in the end, all of our decisions that we make have to be based upon what's really best for the kids. So let's see if we can get that wheel going like we see to have positive connection. Fourth thing, well, I love this. I love that the principal is actually the host for First Performance National Day of Celebration concert. This is great. You don't have to worry about him wondering what to say. He has a script. He's welcome to take off from the script, as most principals do. I cannot tell you, every time I've seen this done, I've yet to see a principal who follows the script exactly. They take off, they start with what's there and add all kinds of things to the script to say things about the school, about the program, about the teacher, and it's very exciting that they do that. So strengthening administrative support. Imagine your principal seeing the parents' level of excitement when the students are performing their concert, and to actually see firsthand the students on the stage with their level of excitement, and maybe a little bit scared and trepidation, but their level of excitement. And of course, at the end, maybe a celebration of some sort. After the concert, there could be in the band room itself some refreshments, and maybe some of the high school students can come down and perform a little bit, so people start to see the long-term view of first performance. I really love involving high school students and even the high school band director in the whole first performance concert. Going along, you can see here's the I Love My Music program. When the principal sees how important this is to the culture of the school, it really does make a difference. You'll find that your music program will soon become the centerpiece of your school, which is a great thing. When that happens, then we know that the principal will do more than just coming to concerts. They will actually be in your corner to support your efforts along the way. Again, this is another communication type of effort with your administrators and your supervisors. They'll soon see how much you care for the program and that you're passionate about it. And of course, at the end of the performance, you want to recognize your administrator and thank them for being so supportive. Perhaps have the students sign a poster that you could frame to give to them, which they will probably put up in their office. And so then the fifth goal, of course, is the obvious, and that is to celebrate the students for their achievements. For the first 6 or 7 weeks of school, learning those first 5 notes and standing up in public and doing what people dread to do, and that is to be in public, to speak or to play. It's something that people are so reticent to do, but we give that to the kids right away. And you'll see that parents will be so amazed at how well the kids do. They will get a standing ovation. They'll hear that applause, and they'll want to continue to do really well, not only for you, but for their parents, because they still don't recognize the fact that this is such a huge thing. And I don't know if you remember your first concert. I know that I do. And I remember how excited it was for me, how exciting it was to have someone actually there for me, to support me and to applaud for me and to say that I did a good job. It's just so gratifying. And you want to give this to your kids as soon as you can. So let's proceed next and see what we have. What about the material? Well, to be honest with you, you have all the material more than likely in your book. So if you're using a method book, I would just choose material right from that, because this is what the kids have been playing all along in your rehearsals during band hour, and maybe that they've been practicing this material at home. So you will see when you look at the script that there are places to fill in, and now the students will play Boom, which is their favorite song, and your principal will be announcing this, and you just sort of fill in the song. There is a publication called First Performance National Day of Celebration, but or First Performance, it's a demo concert. It's available from your music retailer or through Hal Leonard, but it's only if you don't have access to your band method book or you want to try something new. But I would recommend taking something right out of your material that the students are already playing from. Why? Because they'll obviously have a lot more success with material that they've already been playing, rather than something that they'd have to start to learn down the road. Now, I have a little clip I want to show you. This is an example of some students playing in a first performance concert. And I would like for you to see them actually doing this and the whole purpose of this event. That it's not to do the Chicago Symphony concert. This is for our little first beginners concert. So here we go.
It has now been 7 short weeks since their musical journey began, and they are getting ready for their very first performance. Just 7 weeks.
Well, I didn't know that we could learn all that music that fast.
It made me feel happy because I knew I had succeeded in learning the songs and had played it well.
Parents and family fill the auditorium.
There's such a level of excitement. They're so thrilled to share what they have learned and be on stage and get all dressed up and show off for their parents. It's just a thrill for them.
The students' nerves are on edge.
I felt kind of nervous and I was excited at the same time because all of my family members came out to see me.
They begin to experience the excitement all musicians feel as they get ready to step on stage and perform. This is why they join the band and orchestra, to make music and enjoy the applause of an appreciative crowd.
They played their first note and they held it for 4 counts and we applauded.
I was proud because I was playing it and I wasn't, listening to someone else play it.
I had a lot of fun playing my instrument in front of everybody.
The first performance is an experience they will remember for the rest of their lives.
I just love that video because I think it really does say it all. The kids do remember this experience and they capitalize on that. So, well, I want to go through some of the materials that are available to you on the site because I think it will be important for you to see what you can have at your fingertips so you can put this together. And I want to remind you that even if you have a performance already scheduled for your beginners, and it's not necessarily a first performance National Day of Celebration concert, you could certainly add these materials to it so that you can have more of a directed event and then tell your students, we're going to be taking part in a national event. And that's very, very special. Them knowing that with other beginners all across the United States that they're participating in this. And it's a big deal. So first of all, we have your letter. This is the Dear Director letter that is there for you to see why we're doing this, what's made available on the site itself, and what you have to supply and why we want to have it available to you. You can send out a note to your parents early on, as early as you can, to explain what we're doing and why it's important for them to support the kids and attend. But we wanted you to have something that's in black and white about the Music Achievement Council, who we are, and why we are doing this, and some information about the event itself and how to move it forward. The second thing, and I love that this is customizable, it's a letter of invitation to your parents. So this is downloadable as a doc, so that instead of having it being from the Mozart Middle School, as you can see the letterhead on this one, it'll be from your middle school or your elementary school program to the parents to cordially invite them. So everything is there. You just add your name and fill in the dates, where you're going to have the event, and that kind of a thing at the time. But that's there for you to use as well. Now, this is the invitation to the principal. And of course, it's also customizable for you to put your own logo on there. But what it does, it explains what the First Performance National Day of Celebration is. And it also asks him or her to come so that they can show their support of the music program, and of course indicate to parents, that they are supporting it. In this particular letter, we asked them to serve as the host. And in the end of that first paragraph, you'll see it says, we would like to invite you to serve as host by announcing the program. A script is being provided, or you could certainly feel free to use your own words. So you will see that is available also as a doc, so that you can edit that. Now the script, again, is provided to you. It's optional. You could have your own script if you want, but what I love about this is if you look at the very beginning, there's an optional introduction, and this introduction is for you to extend to your local retailer if you'd like to invite them to do an introduction, because you may remember that the organizations that helped us get this and move this forward are the NAMM Foundation, which is the National Association of Music Merchants. They really represent all of the music dealers, as does the National Association of School Music Dealers. And so with NAMM representing all of the manufacturers and publishers and so forth, and then we have the National Association of School Music Dealers, you might want to invite them to come and to say how proud that they are to be a part of this. Because I see this event as being kind of a meeting of the minds of all the parties. Your NASMD person, your dealer, you, the principal of the school, your parents. Everybody is coming together to make this happen, and of course the kids. Now, you'll notice at the very bottom of that first page, it says announcer script. Well, that's where the principal would actually start with their portion of the program, and then it moves forward. And so the students will play, and at the very beginning, there's a cute little kickoff that says, Mrs. Johnson's first day of class looked something like this. And so the students will hold up their instruments, and they'll be all in different pieces, and they're looking, what do I do with this? And you move it down step by step. And on the first day, the students sounded like this, and the students will blare their first note as loudly as possible, on purpose trying to make it sound just as awful, right? Well, then the parents are laughing, and of course everybody gets a big kick out of this. And then step by step, it explains how you've introduced the concept of melody, and then it moved on to rhythm, and so on and so forth. And the principal is encouraged along the road to encourage the audience to actually take part with a lot of enthusiasm. So it's really fun. I do want to mention a little thing about the script. Several districts have taken different approaches. For example, I saw a school where the principal started the program by saying how they made in the spring available all of these instruments for kids to sign up in the fall. And this one was for a band event, a band first performance. So what they did is the principal said when the students came and they chose their instruments, they signed up, and they were able to sign up for trumpet and trombone, and they started to list all of the instruments. Well, as the principal hit that particular instruments, the students who were sitting on the floor in their sections started jumping up and down, just screaming and hollering like, yeah, that's my section, and holding their instruments up. And it wasn't a quiet kind of performance. It was very athletic, cheering on their group. It was really a fun way to kick it off. The principal just loved it. They had rehearsed that would happen, of course, but that was not in the script. That's something that the principal said, let's add this and kind of make it a cheerleading kind of a thing. So along the line, it goes along and talks a little bit more about how the students that got to the point where they could play a recognizable tune. And mom and dad then will applaud for the fact that, oh, yes, I can hear that song. That is, oh, when the saints go marching in, or whatever the song is. So it's really a great, as I said, 20, 25-minute performance is all it is, just to show mom and dad and their friends and sisters and brothers, all the family, how these students have progressed within the first little bit. So it's great. So one of the things that we also wanted to provide for everybody is what we're calling a certificate of advancement rather than a certificate of achievement. This is a whole certificate that allows you, because of how it's put up there, to click in and put the names of the students in. And what we have done is, in our district, we have Xeroxed these onto or copied them as we've gone along onto parchment paper, so they really look like nice certificates. So you put in the name of the student, and then you can put in your name and the day of the event, and just print them out 1, 2, 3. It's really, really easy. So that's something that's available to you also. That will be easy. You can just have this up there forever, and year to year, add the names of the kids and change the dates. Another thing that we thought would be fun to add for you and would be helpful is a press release template. So this is one that you might want to, when you do your first concert, just put this out, talk to your principal and ask if he could help you with getting this released out into the local paper. Maybe it could go in the school newsletter that's going out. Maybe there's a district-wide email that could go out, or at least within the school that could go out to tell all of the teachers about what's coming. But I think it's important to get some information out on it, because I think it's a really good thing to get promotional material out. I think sometimes, because maybe it's because we're in our box, our box, what I mean is our classroom is usually way far away at the very opposite end of the school from everybody else, because we're the loud ones, that they often don't get all the information. And it's important to remember that communication is such a huge part of what we do. And when I talked about communication with the parents and with administrators and the students and principals, I thought it was really, really important to include this. I want to be sure I allow time for questions, so I'm going to move along a little bit here. We also have, and this I would highly encourage you to talk to your high school band director. These are ideas to enhance the experience for the young kids who are beginning. I'm going to go through these because they're that important. And I think you should work with your high school band director to try and get these items in action. The first one is ask the high school students to come to serve as ushers to distribute maybe programs as the students enter, or as the people enter to hear the concert. When the parents see of these beginners, your high school students, band students, in their array, in their band uniform, and they look so great, of course. They're good looking, and they look so, I don't know, you want to be part of that. The parents will start to see, oh, I would like my son or daughter to do this. And the students will see this, and their friends will see this. So this is a great way to do that. And it doesn't take that much time. I mean, you ask your band director to help you with this, and they provide 5 or 6 kids to come down and to give out programs. Another one is to ask the high school students to come in uniform and meet and greet the parents and students as they begin to show up to the warm-up area. Maybe you could have a group of students help you with getting the instruments assembled, with being sure that the kids look nice and that they're ready to go, and maybe tuning, that kind of thing in the band room. But the students will then start to see high school students. And you know how it is, that old expression about I want to be like Mike? Well, students they really look at high school students as something they want to be. And wouldn't we want the students to see an estimable high school student and have them be more like that. I think that is exactly where we're headed. Third thing, asking like instrument high school students in uniform to assist in tuning the instruments, as I just mentioned. For band, arranging for the entire high school marching band, maybe we could do this, to burst into the performance area at the end as a surprise, playing the high school fight song prior to the final selection. And so the students would come in with the drums, beating the drums and hearing all this wonderful music, all the high school kids coming in, heads turned and seeing, oh my gosh, look at this. Wow, now I really get a view of what the future could be if my student stays in this program. And again, this is a retention activity as well as a recruitment activity. Arranging for a high school student combo or several kids to play at the post-performance reception. As I said, I think it's really important. Maybe this is where you would give out the certificates to the students, or you could wait for them to get their certificate on the actual first performance day of celebration. Again, this year it's going to be November the 15th. Maybe the principal could make an announcement over the school about how great this is. These beginning students are now full-fledged members of the band. This is just a great way to circle your efforts around all of this. And then finally, asking high school students to send a congratulatory note. If you could talk to the band director, have the high school students give them each a name of a beginning trumpet player. And so a like instrument high school trumpet player says, what a great thing it was that they're participating now as a full member of the band. And can you imagine how great it would be to get a note as a sixth grader or fifth grader from a high school band student with a like instrument saying how great they were? I mean, these are things that are really kids will remember this and they will want to continue to play. So that adds just a lot of extra to the event. So really focus on that as well. So, and for those kids, those high school kids who do come and help, we've included a music education leadership certificate for them to have. So you would be able to provide them with this as well. We want to recognize their coming down and helping with this whole event. So we want to be sure that this is available. We also have a first performance celebration toolkit. You'll see the hashtag FPCelebration. We are on Twitter, and so please do follow us. We are really trying to get this out there. Share with your friends, retweet everything that you find, and look for us. We are on Twitter as not only FPCelebration, but FP Music Council, the Music Achievement Council's on Twitter. So look for us there and try to spread the word so that everybody sees that you're participating and how the event is going on. We wanted to share also that we actually did a trial first performance at the Midwest Clinic in December, and it was so successful. You will see all these students, this is their first performance in December, of course. I know normally we would be doing this in November, but it's for the clinic. And across the back, you'll notice all the parents are sitting there across the back. And the teachers directors attended the clinic, you can't really see them, they're off to the side. But oh my gosh, it was so highly successful. And the kids performed their very first performance. They actually took the script, and instead of playing out of their books, their method books, they took the song When the Saints Go Marching In and played it to different styles of music. Like in Mexico, it might sound like this, and in different countries, how would it sound? And it really turned out to be a great little geography lesson. So it was really a lot of fun how they did it. I wanted to just show you some pictures. We actually gave the kids little T-shirts. You can do that if you want, and to signify this. And then Mario Moody did a terrific job. That's him on the right, of conducting the concert. And you'll see right behind them some of the parents who were there. They were taking photographs, of course. They just loved the whole thing. You want to make this very accessible and very casual for the parents, not too formal. They need to just see how much their kids are enjoying this. Mario actually had his kids singing during the concert because he wanted to show what they actually do in class, and they actually sing before they play, which is really cool. I love that. We also showed this at the National ASA conference in 2018, earlier this year. Kids really went for it. We had a little banner made in the back so that they could take pictures afterward, and they thought it was really special. So we used a little group from Atlanta, which is where the conference was held this year. So we did a little talk afterward and did a presentation, and you'll see the two directors which combined their groups. Niall Taylor is on the left and Mario's on the right. Mario made and you can see Dr. Tim there too. We did this whole presentation for the parents and the teachers. The kids actually left and went out and had a little pizza party. But Mario said that it really changed how he taught beginners altogether. And I have to tell you, I think that was pretty significant. So significant that we asked him if he would make a little video about it. So I'm going to show you this very short video of his remarks about doing first performance. So here we go.
Hi, my name is Mario Moody. I'm the band director in South Highland School District 151, and I'm here just to share my thoughts on the first performance series. The first performance method was really developed with your beginners in mind, to give them their first opportunity to perform for an audience. We realized that after a few weeks of being in the band room and learning certain methods, we don't want them to get bored. And so this allows you a stress-free environment where they can play their first few selections for their parents and friends and really gain confidence in their skill set. There are many benefits to utilizing the first performance series as your first performance. First, it allows you as the band director an opportunity to have flexibility to choose any song from any method book and format it in a scripted series. Second, your students have the confidence. I can't tell you how proud my students were after their first performance. They felt like they were the best performance on earth. Third, your parents will have immediate feedback. They'll know that their child is learning something very valuable in a short amount of time, which will keep them retained in your program. The first performance method really challenged my teaching philosophy. For many years, I saw our beginning band as the first step in improving as a musician. And although that's true, those beginners also need an opportunity to feel accomplished. And what I noticed is that most of them really felt proud of their first performance. And by the time our spring concert came around, they had really improved. The sound, the quality, the tone, they weren't nervous because they knew that they had many performances under their belt.
Mm-hmm. So he had a wonderful experience, and I would tell you that this is so true. I mean, when you're really focused on the fact that my beginners are the ones I really need to retain, and it starts right now, it just makes a huge difference for all the students, and it will make a huge difference the way you approach teaching your beginners, I'm sure. I wanted to also tell you, we used a program, and this is just really cool, and your parents will love this. We used a program called Poll Everywhere. And what this does is allows the parents to give literally feedback as the students are playing. So I'm going to show you how this works. So at the Midwest Clinic, we gave the parents on their phones, on their mobile phones, a code that they would key into, and then we asked them 2 questions during the session while we were at the Midwest. So the first question was this one that it shows here: parents, what one word would you use to describe your reaction to today's performance? We asked them to provide that word as the students were actually playing their concert and playing their performance. So I wanted to share with you what the types of words we got so that you could see. And then as they typed in, and you have to be very careful that you restrict certain kinds of words, because as you know, people can get careful, but you have to be just careful about it, but use this. It works great. This is what came up. I'm just thrilled to share with you how these parents felt. I mean, just look at that. This is truly amazing to have this feedback. So we had the kids turn around and we said to them, take a look at how your parents feel about your accomplishments this evening. And wow, that word proud, of course, just flies out. And it was just really cool. And the parents were able to have an active part in the concert, in the performance. So then the second question is parents. Now they have the students have actually left, but you could ask this at the end of the event. Now that you have seen your child perform, are you more likely to encourage your child to stick with the band? And it could be orchestra, of course, whatever it is. And we asked this question at both sessions, and here's the answer we got. Oh, I hope that I hope that your picture with Giovanna isn't right on top. There we go. It's 100%. 100% of the parents said yes, they're going to encourage their kids to stick with band. So you can't beat that. I mean, you just can't beat that. So really think about using this program. It's not only the program that you see here, this, but also the whole program in itself, because the whole first performance program is really, it's terrific. Okay, I am having trouble advancing the slide. There we go. Okay, the next thing that we have that we want to share with you is a word from Cheryl Floyd. Cheryl Floyd is an exceptional music educator. She's a Yamaha music educator. She comes from Texas. If you don't know of her work, you need to find her. She's just amazing. But Cheryl said a couple of words that I wanted to share with you also. So let me get that for you.
Hello, my name is Cheryl Floyd, Yamaha Master Educator and career middle school band director with over 35 years in the classroom. And I have something very exciting to share with you. You know, we all want to reduce dropout rates, encourage better communication with our parents and our administration, and create a memorable experience for our youngest of musicians. If you're like me, a beginning band director, you're always looking for ways to showcase those young musicians after just a few short weeks of instruction. You want to demonstrate how far they've come, their progress, their excitement, and you want to find ways to keep them motivated. I find it helpful to go ahead and set a date now, early on, somewhere between the first 6 and 8 weeks of the school year for your first concert. I know I have spent endless hours planning concerts, writing scripts, and developing activities to bring together young musicians, administration, and eager, supportive families and friends. But I have great news for you. The Music Achievement Council has created an exciting package that addresses all of these objectives. And better yet, it's free. Included in this package, you'll find a sample letter and invitation to parents, a sample letter and invitation to your principal and administration, a printable certificate of achievement for your students, as well as an exciting script and music, optional of course, to make the first concert everything your kids have ever dreamed of. What are you waiting for? Go to musicachievementcouncil.org and request your free packet. I'm looking forward to hearing how your first performance goes.
So we're hoping that you will save the date, get this going. There's a little iPhone there for you to be sure you take a photo of this slide, just in case you don't have it ready. But you can download the free materials at musicachievementcouncil.org. You can get it there, or you can get it across the screen at the bottom. You can see namfoundation.org/educator-resources/first performance. We're making it available everywhere. Again, the bottom one, the Music Ed Consultants link, will actually get you to this PowerPoint presentation so that you can download it. It's a movie version of this so that you will have it. But please, this is something you just definitely want to take a look at. Even if you can't get to it this year, you'll want to use it for next year. But I would definitely use it for your first performance that you do with your beginning kids. Review the script, make it your own. We would love to hear how it comes out. We're going to put out all kinds of information about how to get feedback. We're hoping that parents will take lots of pictures that they can share on the internet with us so that we can share this great experience with everyone. Again, we hope that you will take part of this. We want to thank the wonderful people who have co-sponsored this. All of these companies are in on this, but especially the NAM Foundation and also the National Association of School Music Dealers, who are helping us with getting this up and running. They've just been so helpful. So I wanted to know, we wanted to allow the last 15 minutes if you have some questions to ask. We would love to entertain some of your questions. So Giovanna, you want to take it from here?
Yes. Thank you so much, Marcia. That was a great information that you shared. It's such a nice program such a wonderful thing to do with the beginning students. We have a question that came in during the webinar. Somebody asked, rather than a live concert, have you seen it work as a recorded concert that is shared from a school newsletter? Do you have any experience with anything like that?
I have not seen it as a recorded, as a recorded concert, but boy, that's really a great idea, because I think the concept that you must be talking about, obviously, in order for it to be a link or a URL or put out in that fashion, you would have to record it live. So at some point, even if it's done during the school day, you could do this in the band classroom and still invite parents to come and call this your first performance day of celebration. It doesn't have to be a formal concert per se in the evening, but I definitely would, if you can do that, that would be great. But if you can't, make it an opportunity for a live performance. And the concept is, when the students do it live, same as when they go out and they're not really practicing to play a game, they're actually playing a soccer game. You know, when it's live, there's a different kind of energy about it. And when the parents are there to actually see it, boy, that's great. But if you can do that and videotape it and also put it out in a school newsletter, and if that's what you're asking, what a great idea, especially if your newsletter is going out in some sort of a digital format. Wow. That's really awesome. Yeah, great add-on. In fact, that's something I would want to continue to share with others as I go and speak about this. Great idea. Thank you.
Right. Another question we got is, how far in advance do you need to start planning to have this come all together?
You know, I'm a planner, and so I would normally plan as a teacher to do this in the previous school year, knowing that I have reserved the room where I'm going to do this, if it's a theater or if it's in the gym floor or whatever it is, so that the school itself knows that I'm going to have that site, that particular place available. And then it depends when you actually do your signups. So if you do your signups for the band program or orchestra program in the spring before the school year starts, then you might want to tell parents right off the bat that this is going to happen. This is when the kids get their instruments. This is when we're going to have our first performance on such and such a date. This is when this happens, so that parents have as much lead time as possible. Now, I would say to you, if you've already got your first performance scheduled for this fall, there's no reason that you couldn't go ahead and make that a FPCelebration First Performance National Day of Celebration. That's what FPCelebration is, a FPCelebration concert, and be a part of the whole national effort. Even if for this year it's happening after that first part, that mid-November date, you can still go ahead and say that it's part of this. They don't have to realize that it's for this year anyway, on November 15th. But if it's scheduled for before the November 15th date, you can go ahead and make it part of our concert. But like I said, because I'm a planner, you still have 5 weeks. You can still contact your principal. You can still, I think, put all these pieces together. You still have time. Just go today, download the materials, take a look at the materials. I think you still have time. Now, as far as notifying parents, your school may want you to give them more than 5 or 6 weeks notice, but you can determine that on your own. I think parents have 5 or 6 weeks notice is plenty of time. But you will have, as I said, I think you still have time to do this. But if it gets down the road in the next couple of weeks, you're going to run short of time. So that's what I would say. So follow what you think is the best. But you don't need to plan this a year in advance, for sure.
Great. Another question that came in has to do with the impact that such a performance has on retention. So it was really great to see the video of the director, Moody, speaking about how it changed his whole approach to teaching his beginners. Do you have like numbers in terms of how it has changed the retention for some of the programs that have done this?
You know, we haven't yet, because the whole first performance concept as a National Day of Celebration and has just kicked off this last year. But I am going to tell you that the first performance concert, that concept has been out there like a demonstration concert for a long time. And I don't have numbers for you, but I do know that directors have said, oh yeah, I use that program every year because that brings the parents in, that brings the administrator in, and it keeps my numbers up. Now, think about the fact that a lot of programs start big and then they get smaller and smaller. These teachers tell us their programs start big and stay big. They kind of grow up and down this way rather than more like a pyramid, okay? So I don't have exact numbers, and unfortunately that would take, because we're all volunteers on the Music Achievement Council, it would take full-time staff to do that kind of a thing. But we would be very interested in, for this very purpose, in following up on anyone who is doing this for the first time this year to kind of monitor that. And going back to what you said about Mario, you know, he told us right at the Midwest Clinic session itself that it really made him focus more on those beginners, because typically what happens is there's only so much time in a day, and we know how we go from period to period, and we really should give those beginners as much time as possible, but to really focus on them and make them their primary focus. For him, because he was performing at the Midwest Clinic, it turned everything around. And as you heard him say, it changed everything for the kids, which is where the rubber meets the road. They had so much more confidence just because they performed in that first 7 weeks of school. So I just think you can't beat it, but we would love to have some traction on this. And a year from now, we would hope to be able to report out this kind of information. If you go to the First Performance site, but at the very bottom of the screen, underneath the NAM link, there was another link, Music Ed Consultants /FPCelebration. If you go there and you can go ahead and fill out a little form so that we can follow up with you and maybe get this information. I'm sorry that's such a long answer, but I just want to be sure that it was pretty thorough.
No, that's great. That's great.
Could I just make one more comment? I mean, there is absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain just by looking at these materials. So make this a part of your library and share this with everybody you know. I just can't tell you how I am in support of this program. It is the easiest retention program I've ever seen, and it really works in terms of bringing all these people together for this one effort. It really does take a village, and this sets it up so perfectly for you. So just go for it, enjoy it, get back in touch with us and let us know how it worked for you, and if you have any suggestions for improvement, because we would really like to continue to bring this forward every year at this time. It'll always be that third Thursday in November. Thanks for us, Giovanna. We appreciate Smart Music getting on board. I know this is going to be put out on Facebook or no? On
yes. So this webinar is being recorded, and we will tomorrow spend some time editing it, and then we will upload it to YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
To the Smart Music YouTube channel, and then also everyone who registered to attend this webinar will receive a thank you email with a link to the webinar video, as well as to the video of the slides that you shared today.
Great.
So yeah, if you felt like you were drinking from the fire hose, no worries, you're gonna be able to review all
Absolutely.
Those materials.
Great. Okay,
yes.
Thank you so much for everything, and thank you all for joining us. Be sure to let us know what you think, and have a wonderful school year.
Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, everyone.